Thank you, Charlotte, for having me. Yeah, so my name is Marina Einarsson. I work currently at Alfa Laval out of Sweden, and I am within people analytics. And I have a background within IT that then I moved over to HR, and combining those two made me end up here. So I have a little bit more than 20 years of experience within IT and HR and numbers for business, you can say.
So the first question is, what's one piece of career advice you wish someone had given you when you were just starting out?
Yeah, and I thought about this one. It's a bit hard, but what I figured out is like bring more balance, because when you're early in the career, you easily torn between different things, or you want to have it your way, or you think you know because you've learned something, but all in all, I wish someone has told me like, okay, there needs to be balance. I finally found it through a good developer, organizational developer coaching advice that I got. So it's on this, like, you need to dare and be brave and go for saying yes to things. But you also need to be really prepared to listen to others. And I think this is one advice that young professionals really need to take in, like listen more than you speak, and try and ask questions about other people and be interested in what other people have to say, because you will learn so much from them and you will build networks. And these people might be the ones that help you in your career in the next step. So that's one thing. And then, so be yourself. I have always try to be really me, like the honest, upfront, down-to-earth person that I am. But I also realized that I'm not only one thing. So I can be myself without being all of myself in every situation. So try to be a little bit more balanced on when I bring everything that I come with as a personality, and when I try to just like put some strains on myself and see if I can be smarter with how I present myself into different situations, and realizing that first impressions actually really do last a long time, so it can be really hard to counteract them later. And then I think it's like I'm one of those persons that my knowledge and my specialist knowledge is respected. And I think that I am right a lot of the times because I'm a specialist talking to non-specialists. Mm-hmm. But realizing that I'm not responsible for the decision as such. So even if I feel that I know what's right, I also need to be willing to listen to the person that's actually going to own the decision. Not always are they good at communicating what they want. So maybe asking more questions again, listening a little bit more, and also respecting that other people have other ways. And they might just be as good as the ones that I am suggesting. So again, the balance between driving your agenda, knowing what you're good at, and trying to make a business out of that, but still be really open and listening. So that balance, I think that I would have wanted someone to teach me way before I did.
Can you share a pivotal moment in your career that made a significant impact?
When thinking about this, I realized that there are several different ones, but they had one thing in common, and that is that someone believed in me and my capabilities. So again, going back to like having the network, having people believing in me and pushing me forward and giving me opportunities has been pivotal in my career. So even if I did not make any kind of deliberate decisions on going anywhere, it sort of folded itself out because people believed in me. And one thing really early in my career was that I was working in a production environment, and the head of production told me like, okay, so you're going in and out of school, where you're going really? So you're too smart to stay here. So what's your plan? And I said, well, it costs so much. And I'm like, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, okay, I will pay for you because you shouldn't be staying here. You should do other things. And then I got the scholarship from the company, and that sort of led me on the way. So, and there are a few more of those moments where someone like bang the hammer in my head and say, okay, really, Marina, what are you up to? And why are you still here? And why are you not doing the best of your capabilities? So I think having those people, listening to them and collecting them along the way has been really important for me. And then I think those people believed in me because I am fact-driven, I'm standing my ground, and I think that has led the way for this trust, and that has sort of brought these opportunities with people pushing me forward. And secondly, I have been my whole career saying yes to things. So even if it's out of my scope, out of my comfort zone, or out of, and I'm like a little bit like Pippi Longstocking saying, okay, I have not tried that. I'm sure I'm good at it. I will try it. And just saying yes to things, like a project that came along. I was like, really? And then I was like, yeah, why not? And then I did it. And it taught me something, and it led me to these connections and networking and things like that. So say yes.
And how do you approach challenges and setbacks in your professional life, and what's your go-to strategy for overcoming them?
They will be a natural part of your career. So I don't really consider them as a challenge, but more on like a learning opportunity. So I have also, again, been lucky being in organizations where trying new things and failure is seen as a good development path, not necessarily a bad thing. So I think if you are in a company where you try something and you fail and that's considered negative, I think you should really think about where you are and if this company culture is where you want to be, because failure is the first step of learning. Mm-hmm. So, and whatever happens, it will lead you somewhere. You don't know yet, but it will take you somewhere. And if you get like, maybe you get discontinued from a project or whatever, and then you kind of feel sad about that and you don't realize why, ask like, okay, so the person that can answer those questions, like, okay, so what could I have done differently to get to stay on to this one? Or what is your advice for me in the next time we're in this situation? Asking those questions again, listening a lot, and just seeing it as learning opportunities. Don't get pulled down, but just like, okay, this happened. So where do I go from here? So trying again that positive thingy, and like really try not to let things pull me down. Of course, you can be sad for a day or three, right? That happens. We're all humans. But then you need to pick yourself up and say, okay, what do I do now? Yeah. So I think that's the, and there is no master plan. I don't think very few people have a master plan that they follow and then it sort of ends up in a good place, right? We're all like a bit thrown in and to the deep end, and then we try something new. And I think, again, coming back then to the yeses and to the listening to people and building your networks, that really goes together really well, and it will give you opportunities if you're open to listening to them when they pass you.